Hey folks, I've had an interesting day or two. Couple, just seeing some old stuff come up. I was thinking about an ex-girlfriend this morning. Just sort of going back over this is kind of in going over my own patterns and my own, subconscious behaviors and whatnot. And I was thinking about a girlfriend of mine in college, and then all of a sudden, I literally, I came out of meditation this morning and had a text, not from her, but from a different ex-girlfriend. And it was just one of these bizarre moments of the universe connecting me to parts of myself and my past and people in my past that were sort of have been offline for a long time, I think. It's pretty incredible, what I'm finding, this process of excavating my habitual ways of thinking and whatnot, and how it's almost like the emphasis has shifted from me looking at my own pattern, looking at the patterns that I have as an individual and where they came from, in other words, looking at generally people who are older than me, my parents, important imprinting experiences, into now much more looking at the ways that I have affected other people over the course of my life, the ways in which I've been responsible for other people's imprinting and in positive and negative ways, part of other people's journeys, and of course then that by definition means they're part of my journey too. And it's a kind of but it's almost like it's gone from the level of the people that I considered gods when I was younger, like my parents and certain authority figures, and coming down more to a level of my peers and friends and relationships, girlfriends, close friends, brothers. And I guess I'm just observing that as where I am in this process, because it has certainly not stopped with looking at how, looking at patterns in and around my parents and how they affected me, or how I became formed by them. It has gone much deeper than that into how have I affected my brother, how have I affected my sister, my brother, my other brother, my sister, anybody that I've been in an important relationship with, ex-girlfriends, close friends that maybe I'm not close with anymore, there's so much that there's so much that happens when we're young, and it becomes the way things are, and then little by little we see that's not true, and we reckon with it and we work with it, but I'm just observing that this process of looking at what has affected me and how I adjusted my own thinking in order to conform to situations, or in order to get love, or in order to get affirmation. It's the more work I do in this area, the more I also start to see my effect on other people, and the more that becomes part of what's relevant to me in doing this work at all, is seeing where that has been the case, and where it's not. I don't think it's about feeling guilty for things where I wish I'd done better, or necessarily going on Facebook and writing everybody in the world a letter that I've ever done anything wrong to. You know, I don't think it's necessarily about like hashing back through every grievance I happen to remember, but I do think it's about being conscious of them and sitting with them and feeling what I felt or feeling what I didn't feel at the time, you know, feeling things that I didn't feel along the way, and that now upon reflection I can see had an effect on the circumstance. My inability to feel at the time had an effect on the circumstance, on my behavior, on other people. So it's just kind of like the rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper as I do this work. That's what I'm observing, and it's in a lot of ways very rewarding to feel even some kind of unpleasant feelings and to remember some unpleasant memories. Not because it feels good to feel bad, but because it feels like truth coming through. It feels like, oh, yeah, there is something real here. Like I do have a sense of being anchored in reality. It's like I'm coming into touch with reality even more, even though the reality is in my past. And that feels like it is important now. It feels valuable now, and B, it's like it's like it's never too late. It's never too late to learn the truth. It's never too late to be honest about a situation. It's never too late to see the truth. It's better to see the truth sooner, but it's never too late. So anyway, that's kind of where I am. I'm sure I'll be able to come up with more detail and more concrete ways in which this is I'm experiencing this. But for now, that's kind of it's kind of where I am today. Thanks for watching, folks. I love you all. I hope to see you again very soon.